Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. Today we are doing my complete budget overview for the new month of October. Now, October is craziness. We have fall weather, we have Halloween, we have all the craziness happening, school activities, sports, oh my goodness. So what I'm going to show you today is we are going to essentially be talking about the budget by paycheck method and everything that really entails in the step-by-step process that I work through when I am creating a budget for the new month. So one of the first steps is we are going to be talking about your October budget calendar. Now, your budget calendar is meant for just more than just listing your bills. It's for activities, holidays, appointments, friends with or dinner with friends, and of course your bills. Everything that needs to be in your October budget, including your paycheck, should be put down on your budget calendar. Now, I get paid, it's probably really important to mention that I used to get paid twice a month. I used to get paid on the 5th and 20th, and that was that way for over 9 years. Recently, when I left my full-time job in February, I started getting paid once a month on the 1st of every month, and that's what happened when I moved to full-time self-employment. So what I do is I list my paycheck on my calendar. Now, usually you want to fill out your budget calendar well before the month actually starts. So for me, I filled out my budget October budget calendar probably in the middle of November, August, September. So you want to list your paycheck on your calendar. Me, it's on the 1st. All of my different bills are highlighted in pink, and I like to color code my calendar. So I have appointments in purple, bills in pink, travel in orange, holidays in this blue color. Something I want to point out very quickly, if you are working with a budget or a pay schedule where you are getting paid twice a month on the same days of every month, you like the 5th and the 20th, for example, you would want to write down your payday. And then what I would do is I would highlight, maybe if you get paid on the 1st, you would highlight all the bills in pink that you're gonna pay with the paycheck in 1st. If you get paid again on the 20th, maybe you would highlight all of those bills in purple or a different color so you know exactly what bills you're paying with each paycheck. I get a lot of questions, and the main question I get about setting up your budget calendar is what happens when you get paid multiple times a month and it's on a bi-weekly schedule? They're not set days. If that is your case, then I really do suggest writing and filling out your budget calendar months in advance. So I would be even working into December and January at this point. Because your pay schedule changes every single month, you need to be fully aware of what expenses you want to pay with each one of those paychecks. So after your budget calendar is filled out, I have a couple of different things. I have my lash and my wax appointments on here. I'm also doing some traveling, which is highlighted in orange, and of course Halloween. And I'll be talking about how I'm budgeting Halloween into my October budget here shortly. The next step is your paycheck bill tracker. It's all about creating a realistic budget. Now, keep in mind, your budget is estimates. Nothing is going to be perfect and exact unless you know exactly how much your paycheck is going to be and how much every single bill is going to be. It might be a little more accurate if you know that information, but let's be honest, a lot of us don't have that information right off the bat. So for me, you would want to always budget your income based on the worst case scenario, the least amount you expect to receive. That way, in your dire moments, you can make sure that you can cover all of your expenses and bills that you need to, working off that worst case scenario. I have a couple of different resources for income this month. TBM, my paycheck income, which is $4,232. I also have an income source from my business, which is $500. Back to school, which is $256. Now, I keep saying I'm going to use this dang back to school envelope, and month after month, we just don't end up using it. My son has all the school supplies he needed to start the school year. what we wanted to do with this money and what I wanted to do is get him socks, underwear, and some new shoes for cross country, and he's been doing fine without it. So I plan on using it this month. I did include it in my income. This is a sinking fund savings envelope, and we'll be getting to that here shortly, but that's an income source. This month I'm doing something that I haven't done before. For a really long time, I had a lot of readers reach out and say, hey, it's really confusing when you roll over cash from last month's envelopes into the new month because you're not putting it anywhere on your budget. You have the cash available, but you're not writing it down anywhere. And the reason I wasn't writing it down is because for me, I've been budgeting for over 9 years, so I just knew in my head what I was using that cash for. So I've decided from now on, I will be putting that on my budget for you guys so you know and can follow along with your budgets as well. So cash envelopes. For my cash envelopes last month, I did roll over cash in one envelope. And that would be and we'll be getting to these cash envelopes shortly, but my clothing envelope. I'm just not buying clothes. And I haven't bought new clothes for myself using my cash envelope in a really long time. And in fact, I've been just rolling it over month after month. I have a goal to get to $300. There's some things that I want to add to my wardrobe that I want to pay cash for. And I'm going for some higher quality pieces, which means they're going to be more expensive. So I decided I'm going to use this much like a sinking fund and save for it that way. I have enrolled over $180 from last month. I'm going to include that in my clothing budget for this month, and you'll see that in my income here at the top. Now, because I'm getting paid once a month, you're going to see all of the monthly bills that I have for the month of October. Keep in mind, if you are getting paid multiple times a month, you would only write down the bills in this area that you're using for that specific paycheck. So I have my regular, my rent, which is $8.50, AT&T, which is my phone bill. I have also automatic savings contributions, things that happen automatically, like my house savings account, saving for my son's college fund. Those get pulled out of my checking account automatically every month, and those should be included in your regular bills. Same with minimum debt payments. Those should also be included in your bills as well. So all of my bills equal $2,662. If you subtract that from my budgeted income, I'm left with $2,506. So you paid your bills, your monthly recurring bills that you have to pay like clockwork. Now what? Now it's time to take care of the expenses where you really ask yourself every single month, I just got paid, where did my money go? It's those expenses that we really, if I were to ask you, hey, last month, how much did you spend on clothing? How much did you spend on coffee? How much did you spend on fun expenses, beauty expenses? You can never really, most people can really never give me an exact dollar. That's where your cash envelopes come into play. They're for variable expenses that change month to month. So I have 7. I have food, fun, gas, beauty, miscellaneous, household, clothing, and I included using my back to school sinking fund savings envelope in my budget. So if you add up all of my cash envelopes and subtract it from the money I had left over from after paying my bills, I have $1,491. This is the point where most people stop. They think to themselves, okay, I paid my bills, I took care of my variable expenses, all of my living expenses and everything is taken care of. I have this money left over, and then we go out and we spend it and we don't even know what we spend it on, or we spend it recklessly or on things that we don't really need, and at the end of the day, we're like, well, that really didn't have any value, what I just spent my money on. It didn't go towards any of my financial goals. This area, the right side of my paycheck bill tracker, is for your financial goals and priorities. So for me, I am debt-free, which means that the money I have left over goes to sinking funds and savings goals. Now, what is sinking funds? Sinking funds for me look like this. These are my sinking funds envelopes, and it's for me saving a little bit every single month for a dedicated purpose or goal in the future. And that's what we'll be talking about. So sinking funds, I have 4th of July, birthdays, Christmas, back to school, Valentine's Day, car maintenance, and we just have a new puppy fund. So when I get my new house, we're gonna be adopting a puppy. Some of these sinking funds I'm already saving for next year, 2020, like 4th of July, it already happened, and in 2019, I already used the money. Once I spend my sinking funds savings envelope, I start saving automatically again for the same goal the following month. So all of my sinking funds equal $279. If you subtract that from what I had left over, I'm left with $736. So now I have $736 left over. I took care of bills. I took care of variable spending. I took care of the future and not having to rely on debt to spend it on the things that I really want and the things that come up. Now what? Now you have to ask yourself, what is your number one priority goal for your finances? For me, it's saving for my first house to buy with cash. So I have a house savings fund. I have $736. The remainder of what I have left in my income is going towards my house savings. Now, if you are using a zero-based budget, your total income minus your total expenses should equal zero. So I have and I give the formula to you. If you are using the Budget by Paycheck workbook, I give you the formula right down here at the bottom. Income minus all of these expenses equals zero, which means that I know every single dollar of my income has a plan. So after you have your budget figured out, you want to start thinking about stuffing your cash envelope. So let's talk about stuffing cash envelopes very quickly. Every single time I get paid, I go to the bank with a teller slip that looks like this, and I pull out specific bills to stuff my cash envelopes that look like this. How do I get to this point? And I don't know if you've ever started using the cash envelope system. You say, okay, well, I need $5,000 or I need $1,000 for my cash envelopes. You run to the bank and you just ask for $1,000. You get home and you start to stuff your envelopes and realize you don't have the exact bill denominations you need for each one of your envelopes. So I use a cash envelope breakdown. I list all of my cash envelopes. Now, my cash envelopes don't just include my variable spending. It also includes the sinking fund savings envelopes that I'm saving in cash. So it's my birthday, it's my puppy fund, it's 4th of July, it's back to school, it's Christmas, it's Valentine's Day. So all holidays and events I save in cash. And so all of my cash envelopes equal $1,294. I list out how much I need for each envelope, and I do a cash breakdown. The way I like to break down my envelopes is very simple. I start with the biggest bill denomination and work my way down. I do that because I realized on my financial journey that it's a lot harder to spend bigger bills than it is smaller bills. It's almost like a psychological trigger that we have. Like, in fact, when I have money left over at the end of the month, in my cash envelopes, it's usually my bigger bills because I found myself spending the smaller ones first. So I did that in a way to challenge myself to save more money. So for instance, for food, I need $400. So I'm going to pull out 3 $100 bills and 2 50s. Also keep in mind that you're going to come up into some instances where you're going to go to a store and you're only going to have large bills, 50s or higher, and they're going to say to you, I'm sorry, but we can't accept denominations that big. So give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, maybe take out a few smaller ones. That's why I decided to do a couple of 50s and with my food envelope. At the end, you want to total all of the bills that you need and the values of each, and you're going to get a teller slip that looks like this. Now, if you're using the Budget by Paycheck workbook, those teller slips are going to be in the very back of your workbook. You're going to get 6 of them. As you can see, I already cut one out for this paycheck. Nothing is on the back, so you can literally cut it out and just bring it to you with you down to the bank. After your cash envelope breakdown, the next thing we need to do is stuff our envelopes. So very quickly, what am I using for my cash envelopes? I know I'm going to get a ton of questions. I always do about my wallet. I use a Stefano Filofax wallet, and I'll put a link in the description of this video if you want to get a system like this that holds your cash envelopes. I absolutely love mine. And so the cash envelopes, this is what I'm using. These are the new fall design ones that are just added to the TBM shop. So we have food, we have clothing, we have fun, beauty, gas, miscellaneous, and household. So these are the cash envelopes we're going to be stuffing today, as well as my sinking funds envelopes. So for instance, let's start with food, for example, because that's the first one on my list. I literally put it like this, and I count out the bills that I have written down. So I need 3 100s and 2 50s. Put that in there. And you have your food cash envelope stuff. Now I like to have my category written here on the back as well as my budgeted amount, so I can keep, if when I spend money, I can track my spending and always have an updated balance on how much I have left to spend in that category. So let's stuff the rest of the variable cash envelopes. All right, so now that all of my cash envelopes are stuffed, I have my variable cash envelopes here. I stuffed all of my different sinking funds. So all of that is ready to go. Now, I get a lot of questions with my cash envelopes. Aren't I afraid of someone coming to mug me? And if I'm ever scared about carrying all of this cash in my wallet? No. But I also don't carry all of my cash envelopes with me every single day. So the part of a really good budget is organization. And for me, I plan the next day ahead of time. So I plan on going to the grocery store. I know when I need to get gas. I know when I need to maybe possibly bring my fun envelope if I have something going on with my son. So I plan the next day out and determine which cash envelopes I need. There is one cash envelope that I keep in my wallet at all times. It's my miscellaneous envelope. I use this for unexpected or unplanned expenses. It's like one of those things where like you're driving home from work and your husband calls and says, honey, can you stop by and pick up some milk? You're like, crap, I didn't bring my food envelope with me, but sure, honey. You have your miscellaneous envelope. So that's why I keep that. So that is my full October budget overview. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe.